everyone, it is Dani'i and welcome to this update video this morning. I trust and hope you're doing great, and we're going to be looking at Hurricane Tammy. So even though that main system is out the Caribbean, there are still some impacts being felt across some islands. So we'll be talking about that. We can see that there's quite a bit of moisture out in the main development region, and I will be drifting to the southwestern Caribbean where there's disturbance 95L, which may still develop into a very brief tropical depression, potentially a tropical storm, before it makes its way into Nicaragua. So we'll be talking about that, and let's get straight into it. So we're kickstarting things looking at the Caribbean here. We're zooming in and we can see that there's Tammy out there, and all of that activity spreading into the vicinity of the Leeward Islands. So Anguilla, going to St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, potentially for Saba and St. Eustatius, St. Kitts and Nevis, maybe for Montserrat as well, and sections of Barbuda. There's been some heavy downpours and some thunderstorms as well, so you can let me know exactly what's been happening for your area. I know that for persons in St. Kitts, I saw all your comments last night about the heavy rainfall and even some flooding there, so please stay safe. But as Tammy continues to move out, eventually conditions will improve even more, but it is not moving very quickly right now. Matter of fact, it is only moving to the north at 10 miles per hour, but it should continue to make its way out. And this is certainly not something to take our eyes off, because it is likely that we could see a turn from this, and it could be a problem for Bermuda, potentially the US. So we'll definitely have to watch for that over the coming days as we head throughout this week. But let's head to other parts of the Caribbean. Going to the Western Caribbean now, we can see that there's some shower and thunderstorm activity just to the south of the Cayman Islands and to the west of Jamaica. We can see all that activity in the area. And heading to the southwestern part of the basin is Invest 95L. So that disturbance is trying to get itself together, but it has a very limited time. That's really the big inhibiting factor here, because it is going to be interacting with Central America, and that will likely help to inhibit any major development of the system. However, there are those favorable conditions, especially those very warm waters, to support it developing into at least a tropical depression, but that is not a guarantee. However, it still has a shot at doing so, but regardless, it will be producing a lot of heavy rainfall across sections of Central America, especially for Nicaragua. So for Nicaragua, please be aware of that, especially near the coast over the eastern side of the country. Now let's head on to this map here showing the rainfall activity through today. So this is from the Euro, and with this forecast here we can see that the map gets pretty colorful. So in those more colorful areas of oranges, reds, and purples, that is where a lot of heavy rainfall is expected. So over in parts of Mexico, going to sections of Belize, much is not anticipated as we head through today. But then down through portions of Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, even for the Bay Islands of Honduras as well, going to Nicaragua, as I said, especially Nicaragua, rainfall amounts up to 3 inches plus in some areas through today. And then going to Costa Rica, Panama, there could be these periods of very heavy rainfall that is likely to unleash flooding across some areas. Heading toward northern South America, some spots in Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana. Majority of Guyana is in this red shading here, this red and orange shading, indicating that there could be quite a bit of rainfall activity as we head through today. Hopefully that's going to be the case. I have been seeing the comments from you guys about how hot and dry it has been for your area. So let's hope that today's the day you get a pretty substantial downpour. Similar story as we head over into Suriname as well. Then as we head up to the vicinity of the ABC Islands, much is not expected today. That rainfall chance isn't too high. Similar story for Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, the Grenadines, and even to St. Vincent. But then as we head further up north, maybe for Barbados and going up to St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, there may be a chance of some rainfall activity, but that is not guaranteed for everyone. However, we start to see things getting a bit more colorful heading up to the northern Leeward Islands. So Anguilla, going to St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, even for Antigua and Barbuda. likely to experience some more rainfall activity as we head through today as Tammy loiters in the area. And then, of course, over to the Virgin Islands and eastern Puerto Rico, we're seeing that things are getting pretty colorful over there as well. So there could be some additional rainfall activity for you guys. Hispaniola, Jamaica, Cuba, even to portions of the southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, there could be some substantial downpours across some areas as well. And then over into Grand Cayman, potentially for Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. So that is what is happening. That is what is expected as we head through today. And now let's move on to the latest on Tammy. So this is the cone forecast as of the 5 a.m. update this morning. And Tammy has slightly weakened. So winds are down to 80 miles per hour at the maximum. And it is, as I said earlier, it's moving to the north at 10 miles per hour. So it is likely to continue weakening, and eventually it will become a post-tropical cyclone because conditions will be increasingly unfavorable. So it's likely to weaken. However, for Bermuda, there could be impact to this weekend. There we see this cone here really taking the system very close. We're still talking about a couple days out. Regardless, it is likely to make a very close approach, and then models go all over the place with Tammy. So there is a big uncertainty with what happens with it down the road. We'll be looking at some ensemble data later down in this video, but let's now go on to Invest 95L. So here we're looking at it on the shortwave infrared satellite imagery. Now, if you look very closely, you can almost see that rotation, that counterclockwise spin. So should it manage to actually get some more thunderstorms rolling and become better defined, then we could definitely see it becoming that brief tropical depression, potentially a tropical storm. Should it actually manage to do so, the next name on the list is Vince. So let's see if it is going to become Vince. And even if this doesn't, we could still see Vince develop in the Caribbean. Why? Because models have been showing something very, very interesting down the road. So let's go ahead and take a look at that very quickly. We're going to be looking at the ensemble data from Euro and GFS. So this goes out next Wednesday, the 1st of November. And take a look at this. By the time you're seeing these ensembles all over the place with no set agreement on what could happen with Tammy. So we can see quite a bit of them showing the system making its way to the west, dipping down south a little bit into the vicinity of the Bahamas, and then headed toward Florida. Very interesting here, but it is not likely to be very strong at the time. However, it could still be a problem if it is strong enough. So we'll definitely have to keep our eyes on Tammy. But look in the Caribbean. As I said, this goes out to next Wednesday. We're seeing these ensemble tracks agreeing that there could be something else forming in the southwest Caribbean. Now, looking at GFS for the same time, of course, we're seeing things a lot crazier here on the GFS, but we're seeing a lot more ensemble agreement in terms of seeing something developing in the Caribbean, even taking the system very close to Jamaica, going up to Cuba. So we definitely have to watch this area as we head to the end of this month and into early November, because that's even the time when we should be paying close attention to the Caribbean. Now, with the above average sea surface temperatures there, that is only going to be boosting activity once other conditions are conducive. And the National Hurricane Center has not highlighted an additional area. However, I am expecting that it will happen. That will happen later down in this week. I mean, this is a typical area to watch in the month of November, and conditions could be conducive enough to allow for something to try to form there and make its way up to the north. But there is no guarantee of it happening, and there's no certainty in terms of where exactly it will go if it forms. We're talking about a future system, a potential system here, not something that is actually there, for example, like 95L is. So that is it for now, guys. I hope you found this video to be quite informative, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you once I get the chance to do so, and remember to always be weatherwise.